Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here with Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, and once again it's time for a GPP workout, but a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below and drop me a comment, I would appreciate it so much. GPP was very straightforward today, focused on 3 movements, did 1 set of abs, 1 set of band press downs for my triceps, called it a day. I guess we can talk about the individual stuff. Weighted carries, obviously I'm not going super heavy on these are super short breaks, so just to get a context for this, I make a round, rest about 30 seconds, and make another round. I just grab 3 quick rounds. Also keeping in mind, I load these in my garage and carry them over to the pad, so I get a trip down the driveway and then back up the driveway real quick. So again, there's a little bit of extra stuff. The same thing with the sled. I partially load the sled. I leave 1 plate on the sled. I push it up and down my driveway to get it down to the street. So there's a little bit of minor stuff that is obviously off camera here. But again, what I'm doing a couple days a week at least, doing my GPP. I'm not doing enormous amounts of it. I'm finding right now I need the recovery. So as I've been pushing really hard in the lifting, I'm having to watch the total amount of work I do right now. I've got to be able to recover from it. But again, the idea is get bigger, get stronger, gain no fat while doing it. I feel like I'm just getting thicker and thicker and thicker, staying pretty much the same body weight right now. So again, I do seem to vary day to day. I noticed how in this lighting I looked just thicker and bigger, but I didn't look as lean as I did yesterday. So it's just interesting how this goes. But again, also it's cold. I think what will be interesting as soon as I bump the cardio back up when it gets warmer and I start sweating more. I've noticed I look a lot different in that too. But, besides the point, let's get over and talk about the GPP. So why are we doing so much GPP and focusing on this instead of a lot of the running and cardio? Mainly, I haven't been wanting to get out and run when it's cold enough to do a lot of the running. I will get some running in here shortly. But I would rather, if I've got to pick between the two, I feel like the GPP brings more to the table, and the sled sprints keep me in good enough shape that I noticed the sled work when I started running again. I was hitting 1 mile and 5K times really quickly after 20 years off from running. So it's like my running gets really good really, really quickly. So if I'm having to focus on this for a little bit, and just because it's a little bit of temperatures, I'm watching the running a little bit. One of my neighbors there, so it's all good. No, they weren't going to hit me. People always make silly comments. Oh, be careful. Like, guys, I'm deep into a neighborhood. I'm really far from main streets. People are not allowed to speed through here. They're used to a lot of cars being parked along the street. Like, everything's fine, guys. Just a warning, because it's slightly silly when people make those comments later. It's like, guys, trust me, there's going to be cars up and down my street a little bit. It's normal. There's no way around it, But it's all regulars. This isn't through traffic from people coming through, going to shopping places. Pretty much everyone coming down these streets lives here. So, and they're used to bikes, walkers, joggers, women pushing baby strollers down the street. It's pretty normal up and down the neighborhood. So no big deal. So 3 rounds of sled sprints. Just trying to get my heart rate up here. These grow my legs. These carry over to my squats really, really well. So I did 3 rounds of these. The heart rate gets way up. I would say in terms of the cardio, this is the most intense thing I do. Like, this is more intense than running is in terms of just heart rate, breathing, and everything. The sled sprints probably are the most intense cardio I do. And it's because I run on the way back. So I push them just at a nice brisk pace on the way down. And then when I turn back to the camera, I try to sprint at full speed, right? I run as fast as I can on that way back, right? So again, works pretty well for what we're doing. And then afterwards, I did my med ball tosses. I did sets of 5. Normally I do 3s on these. I did 5s this time. I ended up doing like 6 total sets, so we did 30 throws. This seems to help with my shoulders more than anything. So my shoulders feel fine today. I was worried about that. After the overhead pressing, I was having some pain in the right shoulder. I'm like, oh man, did we really have that? So what I may have to assess what that overhead pressing is, that grip width a little bit. I'm going to have to go a hair wider because I can't lock. I was trying to force the lockout, and then I bumped the weight a little. Well, I'm going to have to just proceed very slowly on that. It's going to take some time. But we'll talk about that later. The shoulders felt fine today. They feel good. Feels 100% recovered. So I'm like, let's do the tosses. I feel like these are helping with my shoulder health overall, just because I'm throwing something ballistically overhead. Throwing something ballistically overhead. So I did, like I said, fives on this instead of threes, and I did six of them, and that's pretty much tied for the most. I think the most I've done is 10 triples with it. So with a little more density, again, moving forward. And the other thing is I've realized like this is about as heavy as we can go. I've looked, nobody really makes med balls heavier than the one I have. That came up too. I'm like, yeah, I could stand to get a heavier one. I started looking, they don't really out there. Like this is the upper end. This is a 30-pound med ball. This company doesn't make anything heavier. A bunch of them don't. There's not many companies that are making them heavier, and if they are, there's only thing slightly heavier is all solid rubber. Like they're not these leather, type bags. So that was interesting. So I guess I'm at the heaviest med balls. I'll just try to work on getting a little more height and power behind it. But yeah. So apparently, as far as these go, most people are throwing lighter ones because they're in different increments, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And it's some companies only do like 3 weights. But they're capping out at around 25 to 30. So I've got my 30-pounder. And I did one set of hanging leg raises, and I just did one set of band press downs to failure. And I've been skipping them a little this week. I'm like, I realize I don't need isolation work, and I'm worried that like I said, I overtrain arms, including probably triceps. But I did want to do just one set. I just wanted to get some blood flow, a little bit of tendon health to it, blood flow to the tendons. So I did one set, and that's pretty much been the only stuff I've isolated this week other than just my side delts. And I think that's what I'm going to do. And I've discussed why in the vlogs. Essentially, I overtrain my arms all the time. And I feel like if anything, it is stunted growth. I feel like my arms haven't grown while other stuff has from doing all the curls and extensions. Everything else just gets bigger and thicker. So it's like I'm doing what other people suggested, right? Some people have said, why don't you just train your arms like you do your legs, who only see my pictures, right? And they don't realize, they don't watch my training. I'm like, that's a great idea, because I don't do any isolation work for my legs. Everything is just GPP or squats, deadlifts, stuff like that. That's all my leg work. So how about we just do lots of weighted chin-ups for my arms and then my GPP? And not even lots, do about the same volumes I do on legs. Right? So that's what I'm doing. And I'm just going to mostly leave them alone. I'm just going to do bench press and weighted dips for my triceps. All right? Not like I don't bench lots of weight. Like my triceps don't get a workout on them, especially when I do rep work on the benching. I feel my triceps light up. So maybe I don't need to be doing 15 sets of isolation work every week on top of it. Right? Probably not necessary. So this is pretty much what we did. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.